You're listening to an MDS podcast.
So in this episode, we talk about how Isaac and I become best friends in college, and then we get into how we met and how it all started, why we're doing this podcast, and we want to welcome you to the Burney Denniston household. Just to confirm, I am recording this. Okay.
I know. I'm double checking my levels here.
Yeah, I'm double checking too, making sure okay.
The levels are looking a little low right now too. So okay, there we go. If I stay close, I'm pretty good. So
yeah, I see my levels. Every time I speak, I am blowing the crap out of it.
Do you not test those EQs, buddy? You gotta test those EQs. You gotta.
Can you come over here and test it for me?
Yeah, let me just drive over to Chicago to mess with your mic and come back here. Why didn't you just bring your equipment here? Because it's not the same.
I know, that's not how it works.
Yeah, drive all the way to Chicago. I don't bring my laptop or anything.
I think it's a quick, easy job. Just make sure you bring a Phillips set, not a regular,
What microphone is this? Is this a Fisher Price microphone? Is this a what was you heard those microphones? What was it called? Like a Mr. Microphone? You had the microphone and then it had just a little cord at the end of it.
Was it just
Look
a
up
cord
Mr. Microphone.
or
It didn't have an actual cord. Look up Mr. Microphone right now.
I found Fisher Price tape recorder.
Did you look up Fisher Price? Yeah, Fisher Price. I had one of those. Is it the guy with the weird face on it? The guy with the happy face? The Rockin' Robot. That was his name.
It's not a robot. That's like a little bear with a red nose. Is that Rudolph?
No, you're looking at. Now you're looking at what was his name? Teddy Ruxpin or something like that.
How do you know these names?
Because I had them. Is that his name?
I don't know his name.
Teddy Ruxpin. Teddy Ruxpin is a he had a tape recorder on his back, and I think his mouth would move as the tape would play. No, that's Elmo. Twin, that's Elmo. That's Elmo with a microphone.
I don't know.
How do we go from a bear with a tape recorder in its back to Elmo with a microphone? All I know is Teddy Ruxpin, you put a tape in him and his mouth would open and his eyes would open and shut. And it scared the crap out of me. I'm scared to even look at what you're looking at. No.
It's a little bear.
It's lost. We're done. I told you to look up Teddy Ruxpin, and you've gone somewhere different. I don't know how to
spell Ruxpin. What is this?
Next thing I know, you're going to start showing me houses on Zillow, and it's just not going to be a thing anymore. So,
but they got a great market, and the ARP is just looking great right now.
I'm so done. Can we start this show? Can we start this thing?
Oh wait. Are we doing something? I thought we were just having a regular, twin time, as usual.
Oh my goodness. Can we start the show?
Yeah, of course we can start the show. We're here with the Burney Denniston household, okay? I'm Benjamin Burney. This is my best friend, my twin, my colleague. What else can I say? My brother from another adopted mother. And Isaac Martin Denniston, ladies and gentlemen. Look at him, looking beautiful.
Full names. I love the full names.
Social Security 247392641.
Okay, so someone's getting hacked.
Twin, I gotta ask, how after all these years, we met we met in 2014. Would have been the fall.
Do that math, Ben. Do that math. Because you're struggling with it.
I said 6-7 years. Okay, calm down.
Okay.
Okay, calm down. You're acting like I was like, let's count how many years you've been in college. We're still counting that.
Not true.
Well, I'm talking about my numbers.
I have my diploma, and it took me a solid 5 years, I think. So
I don't know. I think you're still waiting for that call, buddy.
I'm still having dreams that I wake up and I find an email, or I look at my AU email that I haven't looked at in a couple years, and all of a sudden it's going to say, hey, you still have this class to finish, so it's all over. So,
but like I was saying, we've been friends for a good solid 6 to 7 years.
I don't think you would say that. Because that's not how we met. That's not how we met at all.
Wait a sec. I'm pretty sure, as soon as we locked eyes with each other across the meadow of the campus in the valley, we just jumped into each other's arms because we knew, being the only, people of color in the music department, it was you and I at first sight. I mean, it kind of was.
This whole story is wrong. All right,
I don't believe it is.
Twin, I need you to be true and honest. All right, to the one person, meaning me, who's still listening to this, and to tell the truth here. All right, freshman year, you were not a fan of mine.
Okay, but why don't you tell everyone? Why don't you tell the listening audience, your mother and my mother, possibly?
My mom stopped listening a long time ago. No, you want me to tell it? I'm going to tell my side of the story. My side of the story is I was nothing but gracious and kind and welcoming to you. And I've been nothing but a great person. It just took you a long time to figure that out. So that is my side of the story. I don't know why you're wanting me to tell this story because you're going to say I'm wrong.
I'm sorry, I think the Zoom connection is coming in and out because there's lightning around you because you're about to get struck down by God for lying about that.
I'm sorry, did you control the weather with your head again? Mega Mind over there? Did you control the weather again?
You got 2.5 seconds to take that back.
Or else, what's the next weather occurrence that's going to happen here? Am I going to have an earthquake? What's next on your radar?
I'll make it rain gravy on you and you just eat for days.
Yeah. That's heaven. I don't know what you're talking about. That's heaven for me.
But no, Twin, I mean, come on, let's be honest. All right, so we met, let's say we did meet 7 years ago, freshman year, 2014 in the fall at Anderson University.
Yes. Do you have the exact date now? I mean, you've given every detail there.
I believe it was August 14th.
That's a good guess, bud. That's a good guess.
Thank you.
I don't have the energy to go back and figure out what day it would be. We met. I mean, but here's the issue. We would go to breakfast. My major, because we were in two different majors. I was in music education and stuck with it, and that's what I'm doing to this day. And what was your major again? Twin?
Mine was
Logistics?
vocal performance. And
Listen
I kept along with that.
Emphasis
and I would say
on the was. Emphasis on the was vocal performance.
Because I finished my degree, unlike some people, Twin. And
I finished my degree.
We're still on debate for that. But so I was vocal performance those 4 years and went on for 2 years. Anyway, you were MUED. You were music education, and honestly, you guys, Anderson University was known for having a good music education program. I think it was 100% higher rate.
Yeah, and it's still known for having a good music education program. I helped
exactly. Not like I would know, but I mean, I've seen your classrooms and how you bring me in. It looks like you need some help, but. But for the vocal performance major, there was few numbers. Pretty sure there was 3 of us. So Anderson University is known for the music education program. You guys had, the MUED program had a bunch of you guys. Every year, freshman, sophomore, junior, there was always an abundance of you guys. You always had the next class coming in. So you guys had a grouping together. You could go out and have breakfast in the morning together. You could study together because a lot of you had the same classes. And
I love how you're saying. Hold on, I love how you're saying there's abundance of us, and that's compared to your major, where out of the entire school, there's like 2 of you. So the fact that there were like 6 of us in our grade was abundance to you.
To me, it was because let's talk about how I had no one for breakfast to sit with, and I said, why don't you explain that story? The morning breakfast routine? Ben, why don't you sit with your major, for breakfast? I remember that to this day. You and Ashley, yep, both of you said that to me. Why don't you sit with your major in the breakfast hall? Wow, just me.
Listen. All right, listen. I need to clarify
And
something.
don't say you were joking. Don't say you were joking.
Need to clarify something. One, yes, I was joking. Two, you got to be honest with me here, twin. You got to be honest with me. Ben coming in freshman year, he was coming in hot, as you would say. He was coming in hot. All right, we're second day of school. Second day of school, and I already know the name Ben Burney because he's talked to so many different girls, and he's coming in hot here. And so
I don't know why you gotta put my business out there like that, man.
Because you're putting my business out there. I sound like the villain in this story.
Because you were the villain. All I wanted to do, because even though we were in different majors, we all had the same music core classes. We had theory, we had all comprehension, keyboard, whatever it was. We all had the same music classes. And you guys would always, as freshmen, you guys would have breakfast together. And, because our class was at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, I wanted to join you guys for breakfast. Not feel like a loner and sit by myself at a table or anything like that. So I wanted to sit with you guys. Let's talk about music. Let's talk about the homework that we got. But as soon as I came up and walked up to you guys and said, "Hey, can I sit down here?" I got my my plate of SpaghettiOs and my macaroni and cheese and my crepes and my Chick-fil-A. I wanted to sit down and have a delicious breakfast with you guys, and you guys just turned me away and told me to sit with my own kind, my own major. Now, what does that sound like to you?
We're gonna ignore what you had for breakfast. The fact that you're eating SpaghettiOs for breakfast. But listen, twin, it's
part of a good meal.
It's just like any other group. All right, you've got to have thick skin. You've got to be razzed a little bit to be accepted into the group.
I'm from Youngstown. I got the thick skin. Y'all were just so mean.
We were just razzing you a little bit. You could have just sat your plate down and sat with us, but no. You had to go crying and sit at a different table. And listen, who went over and sat with you most of those days?
Because they all left you behind. I don't know what they did. I don't know where they were going. They had another class or something.
That's where they were going. They were going to another class, and it was usually the days where I was like, I don't feel like going to class.
But then, it was like some UED class that I didn't have, and so you didn't want to show up to that class, and so you would hang out with the cool people, and then once they were all going, like, oh, I'll hang out with, Ben now. I don't mind being around him. How does that make me feel, twin?
Twin, obviously I didn't hate you, because if we could move on from this, later that year we made plans to become roommates, right? We right? That was the plan. We were gonna become roommates. Then I guess there was a little mix-up, I believe, a little shakaroo.
I gotta say, it was one of the most disturbing things I ever tried to do. I mean, let's talk about being catfished at its maximum level. For months, I asked you. I said, twin. I didn't know, because we weren't twins then. I said, Isaac, can we talk about this roommate thing? Can we talk about this roommate thing? For months, we just can we talk about this roommate thing? Summer came along. We were no longer in the same vicinity. We were no longer in the same campus. Twin, we were going to talk about this roommate thing. Finally, you messaged back and said, Ben, I can't really. I actually decided to get my own room. And here I am. I'm ready to sign the paperwork to officiate this thing.
Hold on. All right, listen. To preface this, all right, before you keep going off the rails here, I was rooming my freshman year. I had a random roommate selection. You had a random roommate selection. We were in two different buildings. Even I was in the building that had most of the music majors and stuff, and you were with the jocks where you belonged, apparently. And
I had and my one roommate who they decided to pair me up with was the other music major, music business, and they thought us two would get along greatly. Obviously, they were wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say, how'd that go? But listen, I was fortunate enough to become really good friends with the person I was roommates with. But the problem was,
because you already knew him.
Yeah, but listen, I knew him, and he would agree to this. Because we've talked about this multiple times, I thought he was a jerk before we became roommates. I thought he was. But then we became roommates. And I'm like, oh, this works out great. This is working out great. Then he had to go and ruin things to get married, and so just had to do that. Didn't ask for my opinion. I mean, he did, and I said sure. But
so whose fault is that then? Look at you. If you were a good friend, you would have been selfish and asked him to stay with you.
Yeah, that's what I should have done, apparently, and broken up the... No, he wouldn't have listened to me. No, listen. Anyway, so there's this big old question of what happens to me next year, because our plan originally was we would just stay roommates. We'd stay in the same room that we were at in the dorm, and that's how it would be. But then he's off and getting married, and so I've got a big question of, well, what am I going to do next year? I don't want to be paired up with someone randomly. I don't know if I know that many people who I could room with at that time. And just so happened that you and I had one conversation, Ben, saying, hey, what if we became roommates? And we're like, yeah, we should talk about that. And we eventually talked about it. So.
Yeah, we talked about it, 2 years later?
I believe it's been 6 years. No, I'm kidding. No, I don't remember you sending messages during the summer, but yes, it did work out that I kind of played the system, and what my roommate then and I said was, oh yeah, we're coming back, we're going to stay in the same room. We did the squatters rule or whatever, squatters rights or whatever, and stayed in the same room. And then school starts and they're like, hey, are you going to be in this room? He's like, no, I'm married. I got married over the summer, so then I just got a room to myself. Didn't have to pay any extra. Just got the room to myself, and it was.
I did. I had to pay extra for my single room.
And you were on what, fourth floor? I was on third floor, and you were on fourth floor, right? You got your own little one room dorm there.
Yep, got my room in the attic, as they called it.
Oh my goodness. To be fair, though.
It was hot as can be up there. I felt asbestos just crawling in me. I never felt alone sleeping in my bed because I knew not Jesus was there, because even though it was an all-Christian campus, I didn't feel Jesus in my bed. I felt asbestos. I felt asbestos in my bed. Him and I were just tight.
I'm not sure you know what asbestos is, because you're making it sound like this is a living creature that is.
It is. It's a boomer. It was born in the boomer years.
Oh my goodness! No, this is wrong. So, but to move on from that, you would come over that next year. You came down to my room multiple times, right?
Yeah, because again, we had the same classes, and we never had the answers to the next day's homework. So we always go to each other's rooms and say, "Hey," we'd be like, "Hey."
You're being really generous right now, because to be honest, I never had the answers. You did.
Yeah, because I actually studied and I worked so hard those first 2 years. I worked my butt off to get my grades, to make sure the homework was done on time, and here comes Twin, just, hey. Every time you say, hey, I was like, let me just get it ready. At one point, you knocked on my door and said, hey, and I just slipped my homework underneath the door, and I never heard from you the rest of the night. I just saw you the next morning. You just handed it right back to me.
See, I keep sounding like the villain in this situation, because I would also, you sometimes would text me and be like, hey, do you have the homework? I'm like, no, I don't.
That's when I knew we were both in trouble.
Kind of waiting for you to get the homework done.
Okay, theory I always had. That was my favorite subject. I always knew theory. But when it came to all comprehension, listening with the ear, I could never... It was my biggest struggle, and so a lot of that, especially, sophomore year, or at least definitely freshman year, we had dictation, and that I struggled with the most. I could never get the dictations down. Us putting it down.
You'd have to hear it, and then you'd have to write down, well, it's this kind of chord, and this kind of chord, and this is what's happening in the top line. Here's what's happening in the bottom line, and it was rough. The thing for me was, I got it pretty well. It just took time that I didn't want to take. And to be honest, Ben probably had his priorities better than I had my priorities at that time. So
I don't know. Considering my major was voice performance, and I never, for those first 2 years, I barely studied. I barely practiced my music, which definitely showed in my performance.
That's why you're in logistics now, buddy. That's why.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you see on my dating website on Bumble and Hinge,
oh my goodness,
as well as Tinder, my job title says opera singer, and we're going to leave it as that.
Okay, because everything that's on dating websites, you can take to the bank. All right, great.
Because it's always true. It's always true. Last night, I matched with an astronaut, and I didn't question it.
Oh my goodness. So, you should. What? No. Okay, so that happened sophomore year, but then junior year, it was magic. We were like, yes, we'll be roommates, and that's what happened, right? Ben, I actually don't remember. Did we have a conversation saying, yeah, we should be roommates? Or I don't remember how that all came together.
No, I think it was because we didn't want to live really in the dorms too much. We wanted to live in sort of like off-campus housing, kind of. It wasn't off-campus, but
it's on campus. On-campus apartments is what it was called. The dorm, it was one room. And then you shared a bathroom, and then you shared that bathroom. You shared
with the whole floor.
You shared that shower. There were no walls or anything in the shower. And so once you get past your sophomore year, I was done. I was done by the end of my freshman year with the whole let's live in a community kind of thing. I was like, I'm done with this, guys. I'm done.
And I think for the apartments, it was you get 4 people to join in with you.
You get 3 to 4 because we had someone that was in my major who was student teaching that next fall. His name was Jared. I decided to room with him, and then did I reach out to you? Did you reach out to us? How'd that all work?
Gosh, I have honestly no idea. I think you reached out to me because I was planning for my trip to study abroad. For the fall of junior year, so I wasn't really caring too much what happened.
Did I reach out to you, or did you just sign up for apartments?
No, I think it was more that you reached out to me because you were looking for another person.
I have redeemed myself. I was being nice. I was like, twin.
You reached out to me because you realized I was going to be gone for a semester. And then you realized your other music friend that you were on room with was going to be gone the semester I came back. So you were going to have a room all to yourself the entire year. You played us.
Well, because so in this apartment, what were they called? They were called Terra Apartments. You had a living room when you came in, and then you had 2 bedrooms with 2 beds in each bedroom. You also had dining, kitchen area, all that stuff. Didn't matter. That's what McDonald's was for. But then, so then we're signing up for like 3 of us to live in this thing, and yeah, it just so happened to work out that Jared would only be there in the fall. Then he'd be gone the spring, and Ben would be gone during the fall, and then he'd come back in the spring. And so, really, it said 3 people were signing up, but there were only 2 of us signing up.
Well, you're forgetting one more, aren't you?
He didn't come in until later. So then...
okay, my bad.
Yeah, so then there's another roommate that came in. He's actually how I met my wife, all that stuff. That story doesn't matter. But he ended up leaving before spring semester. So we get to that spring semester, our junior year, and we are living together. And honestly, twin, I say that's when our friendship started.
I would say, yeah, definitely. So the first 2 years, us living separately, being in different dorms, and then finally being in the same dorm but different floors. Even though we had the same classes, we weren't really clicking too much except for when we needed homework. Then we became in sync. But then after. But then once that junior year, when we said finally, when Twin would allow me to live with him, because he just had no time for me. Finally, when he let me live with him, then we became best friends. Okay. That's when. Let me not rush that. That's when we clicked.
We became friends.
Well, we finally became friends.
and we kind of lived into the whole twin thing because we were one of the Anderson's a diverse place. Was not super diverse when we were there for our majors. So
I mean, let's be honest with them, twin. I mean, we were the only we were the
only black people. But
I was gonna say the only black males in the music department.
You're getting somewhere with that, yeah. So and with us having the same classes and stuff, people would be like, "Oh, you guys are like twins." And
is that how it started? I know we were talking about how we became twins, but I don't know. Is it because I just started calling you that? I have a nickname for everyone, and
you lived into it. So I remember people are being like, "You guys look like twins because we're both black and apparently we all look the same." And and so and then and you lived into it and kept saying, "Hey, twin," and stuff, and finally I gave in and started saying it back, I guess. So. But that started our true friendship. So we were living in an apartment. I just started dating who would end up being my wife, and so we had like this nice trio going on there because she was over all the time. And but Ben and I, we were becoming really good friends. We had that opera that we were both in. So we were in an opera called Down the Valley, and we would ride. I think we would even ride over to rehearsal a lot of times and back, or we'd meet up or something like that.
Yeah, I think so because we would get food together, and we would I hate to say it, we would cut class together, and that's when the friendship of GTA really started.
Yeah, I was gonna say we found a mutual love for GTA, except we were playing for single player GTA, so it'd be like, oh, you play for 15 minutes, oh okay, I'll play for 15 minutes, and
no. The rule was whoever died. Whenever you die, you have to switch over to the next player. And
which
Twin,
was not fair.
Somehow, he would always die. Like, immediately, as soon as I hand him the controller, gone. And it's like,
where'd that airplane come from? Wait, I'm sorry. I sound like what? What?
I want to go again. Then you bring your future wife into it and say, oh, can I go again? Of course, she would have to defend you and say, of course you get to go again. What was she going to say?
The funny thing is, you'd listen to her, you'd be like, but Lizzie. Like
can we talk about how I never got your wife's name right?
No. Her name's Leslie, and you keep calling her Lizzie to this day. But it's funny because it's like she looks back at it as if she was like babysitting us half the time.
It really was that way. I mean, we would always, just sit on the couch, play GTA, and then someone had to do our homework.
Oh my goodness, she did not do our. No,
I'm kidding, of course.
You know what's sad too? I remember a lot of things. Like I can remember around what time of the year it was when things happened based upon the McDonald's specials of that time. The Grand Mac was out at the time. I'd get a Grand Mac. You get your meal, your double quarter pounder with cheese, and I don't remember what it was.
I would like 2 bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles with a quarter pounder with cheese meal. No ice for the Fanta Orange large. Thank you.
Did you see they brought the High C back?
Okay. Yes. Yeah, well, that's been out for a minute. I'm pretty sure I was the one who told you because I was so excited. There was a huge demand for it back.
Well, that shows you how often I've been to McDonald's recently. So,
I'm proud of you, Twin. I'm proud of you.
I like the Happy Meals. I like the toys. It's like Christmas every time.
I like how you say, Lizzie was basically babysitting us, and it's kind of still true to this day.
Because I'm getting Happy Meals. Oh my goodness.
Because it feels like she's still taking care of us.
Oh my goodness. So junior year, great time, and then we ended up, of course, moving into another on-campus apartment, except just the two of us, because we were becoming seniors. We were both becoming seniors, and we had.
I know why you're emphasizing that. We were both becoming seniors, but I believe one became a super senior. And if you don't know what a super senior is, just think about it as, getting a supersize at McDonald's. You don't just go with the regular large. You get the super, the supersized meal because you want extra time. You want extra time eating your food, and that's exactly what Twin did. He had extra time eating at the MP with Chick-fil-A and enjoying those meals. He wanted to spend more time at Anderson University. He wanted to spend more time with the Church of God.
I did not spend time at MP and stuff like that my 5th year, but yes, I somehow crammed.
I'm sorry, can you say it one more time? Your what year?
I somehow crammed 4 years into 5, and so it is what it is. We all have our journey.
You crammed it in.
We all have our journey. I'm
pretty sure that's spacing out.
We all have our journey, and you know what? That degree still hangs on my wall. So
some journeys, but more than others. Yeah.
But this apartment was awesome because we had that senior status. We had the senior credits, so we got to be one of the first people to pick what apartment we were going into, and we picked apartments in Fair Commons. And
elite apartments. I mean, there was jacuzzis. There were pools.
No, there wasn't.
There were room service. There was valet parking. I'm talking about the works. Dry cleaning. And that came very helpful.
Basically, you're just explaining what my wife did for us. She was a dishwasher. Oh boy! All right, I love you, Leslie. But
just that quick. Me too. Look at you.
But there was not a jacuzzi and stuff. But there were 2 rooms. There were only 2. So what? You came in there, and there's this common kitchen and living room, and then on one side was Ben's room, and the other side was my room, and then we had bathrooms.
It was wings. We had wings to our apartment. It was beautiful. I mean, every time you walked into a room, it was like a new episode of I don't know, moving on up the East Side, the Jeffersons. That's what it's called.
Oh my goodness!
Or the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We just had different wings. It was wonderful. We would wake up, open our doors at the same time, look at each other face to face, and say good morning.
That's not what we would do. You would try to do that sometimes, but if we looked at each other face to face, sometimes we'd be like, "You going to class?" "No, I ain't going to class." There would be some of those.
We would just be in the common room. Just to agree, we're not going to class and we're going to play some GTA. Let's talk about that one day where we skipped, I'm pretty sure, almost the entire day of class to watch satisfying videos.
It was a...
we said, we're not going to watch these satisfying... If the video was an hour long, and we said, there's no way... And the satisfying video, it was just the dumbest stuff. It was just, like icing being spread on the cake, or perfectly slicing gelatin or something. It was just random satisfying videos that was a compilation of 1 hour. And we said, there's no way we're going to watch the whole hour. 5 minutes went by. There's no way we're going to watch the whole thing. 15 minutes went by. We're not. And then we just became amazed, and we just... we looked like we were on PCP or something. I don't know.
We're on what? So we had, again, GTA was definitely involved, except we figured out how to do online GTA. So it was perfect. I would play either in the living room because I had a projector screen that we had in the living room, or I'd play in my room on the TV, and I'd just open up my door, you'd open up your door, we'd be yelling back and forth. And we had a great time playing GTA. We had people. Come on! Get him, Twin! Get him! So, anyways, then after college, we were still friends, and you even lived with Leslie and I for a little bit, right? Right when we got married.
We were. I remember because right before we graduated. Well, some of us.
Man.
You were planning to get married that summer after we graduated, and so you were looking to move in with your wife and all that and get prepped for the leave, and you invited me to just stay because I was planning to go off to grad school in Chicago, and you said instead of me looking for a new place to live for 3 months, before I moved to Chicago.
While you were working at Indie Opera too at the time, right?
Yeah, that's true too. So I had a job, so that was my main reason to staying. And you were gracious enough, even though I had to pay rent. You were gracious enough to let me stay during the summer, and be there for your first few months of marriage.
Yep, and,
it was a wonderful time.
And that's how the Denniston Burney household was born. So.
Oh, the Burney Denniston household was formed as soon as we moved into together. When it was just the two of us.
Oh, you think that was okay? I always thought.
No, because we always said we'll always have.
That's right.
Roommate meetings. Meetings definitely in fair comments. I would always call a roommate meeting. We have discussions.
Yeah, those were some non-eventful roommate meetings. So that's good. That's good. Twin, what's the point of all of this? Everybody just sat through 5 hours of us bantering. What's the point of this here?
Well, you're cutting it down. So, I think the point of this is, one thing definitely, to grow our friendship, we always talk about having these conversations. You and I still play GTA. Well, some of us.
I think we should right after this. I think we should.
I'm down. Oh,
all right.
Okay.
It's recorded. We're doing this.
All right. It's a game plan. Ladies and gentlemen, if he does not follow through, he owes every listener $10. And so
my money's safe.
I hope more. I'm gonna promote the crap out of this, so we have to pay up. Anywho. I think it's the fact, to keep our friendship going, especially me living in a different city than you. Also, we just have some of the funniest conversations in the world. It's just, our dynamic is like no other. It's just, and I think it was about time we finally recorded something and, talk about our adventures together and, what happens in the Burney Denniston household, even though we live in separate households.
They're funny to us. The jury's still out if they're funny to others. So.
I'm pretty sure. They're hilarious. We'll take a poll.
So to recap, the whole point of this podcast is to force us to talk to each other.
Well, okay, I wouldn't say it like that. I was saying more. The lore. I believe in Philistines 46:32. He says, "For God so loved the world, He gave us one and only son and daughter." Because it's 2021. It could have been a man or a woman, and I believe that's when the belly of the whale of Jonah came up from the desert and swallowed us whole. A little flat there, buddy, but okay.
I'm sorry, we can't all be working in logistics like you. We can't all be doing it like you.
Again, on Bumble, it says Benjamin Burney is a fun guy, likes long walks on the beach, and it's an opera singer. Thank you very much.
Oh, boy. Well, okay, so we'll see how long this podcast lasts, how long we do this. I
think it's funny. We'll keep it going. I think it's it's comical, and I think people need to. I think they need a good laugh from us. We're pretty funny two characters. I think we got it going.
Again, I think the jury's still out, but I think we should end this one. How are we supposed to end this thing?
When the day is done,
as I always
and
say,
the night is
the future.
Away. I think we should end it like that.
As I always say, the future is. You're not gonna let me do my thing. You think we should end it with the whole? We would seriously do that. That's how we would say goodnight to each other. We'd start singing the stupid song, and we'd
from Family Guy, because we always quoted Family Guy, and it was just
when the day is done and the night is oh, this echo's gonna work out good.
It was a bunch of big guys in rubber tubes in the lazy river, and they would sing the song, and the day is done, and the night goes far away, and the night and they would always stop the music when the people would get stuck in the lazy river. And then the music will resume when they finally push them through like a clogged artery.
Oh my goodness. All right, fine. You end us out here, twin. You end us out.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. This has been the Burney Denniston household, and this is us singing When the day is done and the night goes far away. Why are you singing Amazing Grace?
Sorry, I thought I'd added
That's not the song at all. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Bye.